In this video, I'm going to just shortly talk to you about all the compressors. I get this question a lot from students, and it's all about all these types of compressors, which are really, important when we had all this analog equipment and when analog equipment was used. Of course, today we model these in plugins, and since we're using plugins mostly in music production, and most of you do, an important thing to demystify is the differences between the VCA, the FAT, the opto compressors, and how these relate. So when you have a plugin that says it's an optical compressor type, it's actually just modeled to sound like the optical compressor. It doesn't actually have a light that's being monitored to see how much to pull the gain down. So I think the most important thing to tell you is that the way these compressors are different, what is actually different about them now in digital is we're trying to emulate analog compressors. So it's either that and trying to make them sound as close to the real thing, to the hardware device that we can, or it's just the differences in how they behave. So it would be easy to say just they behave differently and that's it. What actually is different is how they react to the signal. So the speed of their attack and release and the shape of that attack and release also is quite different. And just bear in mind that some old compressors didn't even have, let's say, a ratio control or something like that. So right now in digital and plugins, we usually have the most control that we ever had over compressors and the most functionality. So I'm just going to play this kick drum and show you actually in this gain reduction graph right here, histogram. So you will see what the differences are between them. And you can try this yourself, just here, and you can also see the difference. So this visual feedback really helps you understand even better to the detail what's happening with the compressor. Of course, the most important thing is how it sounds. So let's try this. I'm going to try the classic. See, way different. Gain reduces even more, never goes back to zero. So it never reaches back to no compression at all. Yeah, the optical does introduce some distortion, as I can hear right here. Vocal one, you see right here we don't have no ratio control, we have no knee control, and it's much more smooth. Yeah, also never goes back to zero. So it means that it's smooth and it's slow. Try the mastering one. So see, the attack seems fast, but the release is really slow, so it never goes back to zero. It just reaches -3 and compression again. So it's a slow release, even on the fastest of settings. This is the bus. It looks nice. You can actually see what happens, so it never goes back to zero. It's a bit faster than the mastering one, but still. Now look at the punch. So it's probably going to produce the most punch. Yeah, the attack is probably really fast, and the release is really fast as well, so that it could let go and compress again once we get to the next transient. And we have the pumping. This one is even faster. You can see that the way it attacks and the way it returns is even faster than the last one. So enough about that. It was just to demonstrate what all these different types of compression do. So it's a different kind of behavior. And mainly in most of the good emulations, it's how much, harmonic distortion they produce. But as for their usage, this attack and release behavior is the thing that actually differentiates them. So let me show you one more thing. If I put it on this mastering, you can see that release. So I'm just gonna have it play and then stop the playback so you can see that whole release happen. Just like this. Look at that release. That's a really long release. If I do that on any other, look, as soon as I stop, the release is really fast. And some of these actually have that release. You see that? That's even longer. That's an even longer release, but it has a different shape than the one in the mastering. See? A different shape. So the speed and the shape, the behavior of that attack and release is the most noticeable difference between compressors. Of course, I'm talking about this digital world where most of us live in right now. When you're using compressors like these, if you even see it emulating an analog device, that is what it's doing. It's trying to emulate the way that device behaves towards the signal, with its attack, release, with its shape, with how much harmonic distortion is there. It's trying to emulate the circuitry that used to happen there. But that's the difference between them. See, it's not magic. It's nothing so mystical. It's just the way it behaves towards the signal and that gain reduction it does. So keep that in mind next time you're trying out something. I suggest you try something like Pro C, where you have a really spectacular visual feedback, and it will actually, through testing and experimentation, allow you to learn more about compressors and how they actually behave and why they are so different. So keep that in mind. If you like this video, give us a like, subscribe, and if you want to learn more about music production and stuff exactly like this, you can check out our full music production certificate